Alright everyone, the show is about to begin. Let's make sure everyone's in their costumes and ready to perform. Okay, Zoe, Alex, John, Steven, Rome. Wait, where's Rome?
My stomach. So as a kid growing up, I was usually always put into after school programs by my parents. But you know, I never really liked them because my parents would always choose the most boring programs. Like for example, my mom put me in this after school program called Kids Club. It was basically where we would just go to a gym after class to play random sports for the rest of the day till we got picked up by our parents. But that program sucked because at the time I was in like 4th grade and the other kids who were in the club were like 1st and 2nd graders. So I was the biggest kid there and all the other kids were basically fresh out of the womb. But anyways, one day my mom came to pick me up from the program, and as I was walking down the school hallway, I spotted a sign-up sheet for a school play. The play they were hosting was the Jungle Book's kids play, and growing up I loved that movie, so you know I immediately asked my mom if I could join. She didn't really mind me doing the play, so she said yes and signed the paper. The next day was the first day of practice, which was also the day we found out what characters we were going to be. So the director handed us our booklets of lines, and out of all the characters they could have chose for me, they gave me the monkey character.
That's gotta be racist, there's no way.
Now looking back at this is absolutely crazy. But at the time, I thought it was pretty cool. So after we got our lines, the teachers told us to go home and do some more practicing for the next couple of weeks. And I know my mom was annoyed because I practiced every time we rode in the car, went to the store, watched the movie. I practiced every chance I got, so I knew I was ready for the show. But after many weeks of practicing, it was finally show night. So it was the night of the show and we finally got our costumes. These costumes were handmade, so they looked so janky and bad. My costume was basically a onesie with patches of fur everywhere. I don't know who made these costumes, but they decided to staple on some of the patches of fur. So when I put my costume on, the staple from the fur was poking me the whole time. But we started rehearsing in our costumes for an hour before the show started. At that time, everyone seemed like they knew their lines and dances. But after a couple of hours, the show begins and we walk on stage. But as I slowly walk on stage, my stomach starts to bubble and I get extremely nervous. The music begins to play, we get in our starting position, and the curtains start to slowly open. And my stomach starts hitting the Dougie, but not to mention, I had like 3 tacos from Taco Bell before I came to the show. And I really had to take a shit. I tried to hold it for a couple seconds as the curtains opened, but I started to feel something slip out. So I run to the bathroom and... my stomach, As I get done, I quickly wash my hands and run to the stage. Luckily my part didn't come up yet, so I just stand back in my spot. A couple minutes go by, and it was finally my turn to perform. By the way, my part had another person in it, so basically we would just say our lines to each other. So we go up to the front of the stage and start performing. The play was going well, but as the play goes on, my brain suddenly just stops working and I forget the rest of my lines. I start to get really nervous because everybody starts staring at me, and to be honest, they made me forget my lines even more. But since I couldn't remember my lines, me and the person I was performing with just moved on to the next part of the play. For this part of the play, we basically just stand on a stool together and start singing I Wanna Be Like You from the Jungle Book. We both get up on the stool and the music starts to play, so we start dancing. And you know, I had the moves back then, so you know I had to show out. But as I'm dancing, I start getting closer and closer to the edge of the stool. And then, I fall. Everyone in the crowd stares at me as I lay there in embarrassment. But the show must go on, so I get up and start dancing again. The rest of the play went horribly. There were a lot of lines forgotten and a lot of stumbles. But in the end, everyone applauds and threw roses on stage as we stood in line and bowed. Man, that play sucked. Yo, if you like this video and want to see more videos like this one, make sure you like and subscribe and also hit that notification button to stay notified for when I post. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.